it's Kira. Today I am going to be taking you guys through how I paint a nature scene. Now this is inspired by Bob Ross. I am a really big fan of his painting style and his philosophy about life, so I found a lot of inspiration from that. If you guys are familiar with him, you will definitely like this video, and if you're not, I hope you stay tuned and come paint with me. Okay, so I have all my colors right here, and I'm actually left-handed. So if you see me painting with my left hand, that is why. Now I have primed the canvas with just a coat of white, and I'm going to get started. So it's really important to put white on the bottom of all of your canvases because it makes everything blend better. So if you can see how I'm just turning this crimson into like a lighter shade of pink, and then as I get closer to like the outside of the crimson, I'm just going to use lighter brush strokes so it gives the appearance that the color is more concentrated in the middle. And you want to be careful, you don't want to add too much white because then it will dilute all of the colors in your painting. So I usually just try to go for like a very thin layer of white. Okay, so now without cleaning the brush, I'm just gonna take a little bit of blue and I'm gonna put it around right here just to like indicate the presence of a darker sky. Maybe the sky is changing, and I'm just gonna sweep that along here. Okay guys, so we just made our first mistake of the painting. Well, happy accident, if you will, but it was this little red mark that got caught from here when I was doing my X's. And what you guys are gonna notice is, obviously this is pretty jarring right now while I'm making the painting, but just wait until we get a little bit farther in the painting and you guys are gonna see that, well, hopefully you guys are gonna see that it actually wasn't a mistake at all, totally not a big deal. And what I always tell people about why I like painting so much is that sometimes when you get a little mistake in your life and you think it's the end of the world and it's such a big deal, you just have to finish the painting, and then sometimes you don't even remember what the mistake was at all. So it just kind of helps me put things in perspective. Like if I'm worried about something, am I gonna be worried about it in 3 months? Probably not. And if I am gonna be worried about it in 3 months, then seems like maybe I have some different life choices to make or some problems to solve. But if it's not gonna be a problem in 3 months, I don't need to worry about it. And so as you can see, my white layer underneath is just getting a little dry. So what I'm gonna do is go back in with the white, because what it does is it just gives the illusion that things are a little bit more blended underneath. Now this is a Kira strategy. I am not by any means a professional painter, so you do not have to take my advice, but sometimes when I notice that my canvas is drying up faster than I'd like with my base, I'll just go in with a little bit of white to blend that out. And it blends out really nicely. Okay, so now I'm just gonna redo the white base layer on the bottom half since my canvas is just getting a little bit dry. Again, probably not something a professional painter would do, but this is what I'm doing, and it's still gonna come out like a nice painting. Maybe not professional, but it's gonna come out the way that it was supposed to. Okay, so now that I got that a little bit wet, I'm gonna go back in with the same blue color and do like a straight line vibe. And isn't that nice? Isn't that so nice, you guys? I just love this step. You wanna make sure that you don't leave any white when you're making the background, because then it still might show up in your actual painting. And notice that what you wanna do is always go from the outside in. So go from the corner or the other side. Yeah, my absolute favorite part of painting nature is that it's not supposed to be perfect. See how sometimes when you go from the middle of the painting to the outside, it creates like a little bit of a straighter line than I would prefer for the painting. If you're painting, you can do whatever you prefer. This is just what I think works for my style. And then just gonna add a little bit more white to make things all more cohesive. Okay, so then again with the same brush, I'm just going to slide a little bit of the crimson color in. Okay guys, so now we're gonna get a little crazy and we're gonna make a big mountain. Okay, so now I'm just gonna scrape all the excess paint downwards, and this is really important because when we add snow and other things on the mountain, we want it to be dry so that the snow doesn't mix with the black paint right here. Okay, so now I'm gonna just blend out that darker paint. Now I'm being a little sneaky because I added just a little bit of water to my brush to make it a little easier to blend, but you don't have to do that. With the perfect amount of water, you can get that to blend really nicely. So now I usually will mix the white, but in this painting, I'm not gonna do that. So we are going to, since the light is coming from over here, just put some snow in on this side. This is gonna be some lighter colored snow. So then I'm just going to start pulling down more white, and you wanna just do like the tiniest bit of pressure. You don't need a lot. I think people overthink that. You do not need to do a lot of pressure at all. We will add a little bit more snow on this guy, like that. And then this is gonna be a lot of snow. We're gonna have maybe an avalanche happened here. This snow is actually going to come across a little bit right there. Just gonna give them a little bit. What's good about our snow right now is that it's not perfect at all. Like it kind of changes and the color changes. It's not all one shade everywhere as it blends with like the black that we used in the mountain. And then I'm gonna blend out this a little bit more. Okay guys, so now I'm gonna add the backlighting of the mountain, which is going to be this light blue shade. Now, make sure that it's not a perfect light blue. See how it's a little messy? There's marbling of white in there. That's exactly what we want. Maybe this guy comes a little bit in front of here. Then here, I'm just gonna add again. This is one of my favorite parts, is doing the mountains and then adding the shadow. Because as you add the shadow, you can kind of see the painting start to come together for the first time. And I think that's when things start to get really fun. Ooh, look at that, guys. Boom! Just so the lines aren't as harsh, we don't want. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is just tap at the base area with some white and just try to blend that out a little bit. I'm just gonna soften this right here. I wet my paint a little bit. It's a little bit naughty. Just put a little bit of water on my brush. That helps thin out the paint. So now I am just going to make some little trees along the horizon. What I do is I load up a fan brush like that. Trees in the distance. So, oh, that's much better. And the more paint that your fan brush has, okay, so now I'm going to start adding some more detail on some of the trees. And then we're just going to do some reflection. So I'm just going to pull down that same color. And then on another fan brush, I'm just going to take a tiny bit of white and just kind of brush up here above where I think the land is. Okay, now I'm just going to give the indication of a water line, just very gently with my knife here. Like that. I don't know, who cares? So now I'm going to load the brush up with a darker color, a little bit similar to what we used for the mountain, and I'm going to make a big tree. So I'm going to put my first tree right here. Ooh, scary. And then just tap the fan brush. Great. I'm gonna put his friend right here. Now I'm gonna put a really, really big tree right here. Ah! Oh my God, You guys, sometimes this stresses me out. But I'm just gonna use the corner of the fan brush, go in like a zigzaggy pattern almost with my fan brush. Just using the corner. That's what's kind of fun about painting this stuff, is you can't really mess it up. You only mess it up if you try to make it perfect. Now we're gonna give him a friend right here. Another big tree friend. And then I'm gonna create a smaller tree right here. Just do the same thing. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna keep making my trees. Took a little break, the cameras got a little hot. Got a little hot and bothered, that's fine, that happens to me too. So, there we go. And create a couple more trees. Maybe there's one right in there. Alright. Now I'm gonna make a big tree right here. Okay. Then I'm gonna go in with some white and I'm just gonna make some snow. And I can take some of the darkness from the trees in there too. Look at how nice that is coming out, you guys. Oh, that makes me happy. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Ooh, there's a little bit of crimson in that snow. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Didn't know that was gonna be there, but it's there now. Just like that. Ooh. Ooh. I like that. Oh, okay. I like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna make a little path. So I'm just gonna take some white and blue. And I'm just gonna use that to make a little more blue. I'm just gonna make the path a little bit smaller as I get up here into the trees, so that it kind of looks like it gets farther away. Okay, so now I'm gonna take a clean, what is this, 2-inch brush? I should probably use a 1-inch brush, but I'm gonna take a clean 1-inch brush and make some little bushes. And I'm just gonna make it by tapping my brush. Just like that. And you don't want it to be completely white because then it's not going to look like a bush. Right now we're just creating snow that lives on the bush. It's going to give us the appearance of actually having a bush there. Still working on sticks, guys. They are not my strong suit. I still try to make the sticks. I only get better if I try, but that's still something I'm working on. Okay, and then the last thing we are going to do is just add some highlight to our trees. And then remember guys, since the light is coming from the right hand side, we're only gonna put highlight mostly on the right hand side of these trees. You know what, guys? I live in Florida, so not a huge fan of winter full time, but I do love painting a good winter scene. You don't have to add highlights to all these trees. I love adding a little bit of snow on my trees, but everybody can suit themselves. I think this one needs a little bit of highlight right here. You can still put some on the other side, but you want to make sure it's concentrated over here. I'm not even really looking, I'm just kind of adding the highlight randomly. All right, guys, that is the painting. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe, come say hi, and I'll see you guys on the next video.